we're going to create a one-page website. So before we created a template and then we created a bunch of pages from that template. Today, or for this lesson, series of lessons, we're going to create a bunch of pages, but instead of being on separate pages, these will be just different parts of the same page. So we'll only have one index page, and a person clicks on the about, it goes here. When it clicks on sandwiches, it goes here, etc., etc. And then each of these will take up the entire screen, so it'll appear to the user that, oh, well, I'm going from one page to the next, but you're not. So there are advantages and disadvantages of doing that. One-page site, you're only using that one page, so any type of styles and stuff will always be for that one page. When it first loads, it stays in memory. So unlike when we're clicking from page to page to page, it's actually going back to the server and pulling new files. This one is already on the page, so it actually navigates very, very quickly. One of the disadvantages of, because all the pictures and files and everything else are all part of that one, and text have to load, it can take a little bit longer, but internet speeds are so fast, no big deal. And then if a person wants to print out just something from here, it's a little bit more difficult for them to do. So those are the issues that we have. So the first thing we need to do is set up our project. So you want to go into your assignment 5 folder, and you want to create a new folder. And that new folder is going to be sandwich. And then we'll go into that folder, create another new folder, and that will be images. And then we also need a new item, and that is going to be a text document, index.html, and then we delete the .txt. And do we know what we're doing? Yes, we do. I've showed you this before, but you want to make sure if you're not seeing, you want to make sure that if you go into the view menu, that file name extensions are checked. Other than that, this just looks like index and you don't see the .html. Or you might add .html on top of it, and it's actually index.txt.html or .html.html. So always make sure that this is checked by clicking on the view menu. All right, and then the next thing we want to do is create another text file. And this is styles.css. So now we have our project. Do we know what we're doing? Yes. So now I'll go back into my assignment 5 folder. There is my project. I'll go ahead and open up Sublime Text. If there was something here, you just right mouse click and say remove project. There should never be anything here when you're ready to pull a project over. And I'm going to grab this and drop it. Boom, there it is. So again, if you opened up Sublime Text and it had tennis in there, you just have to right mouse click and do remove project from folder so it's not there, and then redrag this on over. You should only have one project at a time in there. In the classroom, sometimes I've gone over and a student has 15 projects going in the same thing, and it's very confusing for them because there's a bunch of index pages. Who knows which goes to what? All right, so speaking of index page, next thing we have to do is double click on our index page. And if you've done the last lesson, you've already done the snippet. And I just have to do start, S-T-A-R-T, and tab, and bam, everything we need is right there. So we'll worry about the title, although we can go ahead and change that now. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is the Trident Tennis. No. Trident Sandwich. We're not tennising anymore. Sandwich. Shop, perhaps. Okay. And then in our body, what we're going to do with this is we're going to have main is going to be where we keep everything except our navigation. Our navigation is going to be outside of main. So we'll go ahead and create that first. So inside our body, we're going to have a nav. That's our first object. Inside our first object is going to be a LI. And then inside that LI is going to be an anchor tag. And where we're going to get it is I'm going to put for this one is going to be for my home. And instead of using file names, we're going to use position or bookmarks on the single page. So if we use hash top, that means it's always going to go back to the top of the page. So the top bookmark is already there on the browser. We just need to call it. All right, and then we have our next one, LI, A, and this next one is going to be hash, whoops, about, should be all lowercase. And then this is our text, and that could be uppercase, about. So we're going to create a bookmark in our HTML called about. It's actually going to be, I can't remember. We'll talk about that. Okay, then LI, A. Next one is going to be sandwiches. So it's going to be hash sandwiches. It's important that when you create, that's what they are, IDs. When you create your ID, you copy and paste it from here. You don't just type it, because again, anytime you type and you make a typo, you can't understand why things are not working, and that's because you've typed it, made a typo. So doesn't make a difference if I misspell sandwiches. If I copy and paste this into the ID below, it'll work, right? I'll just have to be ridiculed by my fellow developers that I can't spell sandwich. All right, and then LI, and then A. Next one is going to be crew, so it's hash, and that's the shift 3 crew. And again, I'll do all caps crew. And then my last LI is going to be LI, A, and this is going to be our contact page. So hash contact, and then capital C contact. All right, and we'll do file, save all. We haven't styled it at all. If you wanted to open up the styles and just do, this is not in the notes, but I like doing this anyway. Body, and then we'll do background color, and let's make it yellow. It's not going to be yellow, it's going to be a dark blue, but we want to see what we're doing. So I'm just going to put yellow. So if it's not yellow, I know I don't have these two connected, or I've done something wrong with the styles. So let's do again a file, save all. Let's go back into the browser and into the Windows Explorer. And then I'll right mouse click on index and say open with Google Chrome. And there it is. All right, so none of these actually don't do anything. Now, if we had not created files and we put these up on the server, it'd come back with a 404, can't find the file. But it doesn't know that the IDs do not exist yet. And home actually does work. It actually brings us to the top of the page, but we're already there, so that won't work, won't show us anything anyway. So next time, or in our next one, we'll go ahead and start building out the rest of the HTML and put those IDs in that that were used right here, these top, about, sandwich, crew, and contact. And that's usually where you see IDs being used. They're used mostly for navigation, whereas we use classes for styling. All right, and that's it.